Does the original Shin Chan have these type of jokes, or are those more Americanized jokes? Did they take the actual script, or is it more you guys get a little more edgy with it? Or?
Good question. I actually didn't have anything to do with those scripts. Those were sent to a team out in LA to write, for the reason being that they wanted to Americanize it. Like they wanted, and that's kind of what the company wanted. Shin Chan plays all over the world. Like I remember being in Spain and seeing it in a bar, like on the television, and I was like, whoa, I'm doing that show at home. Weird. So it plays all over the world, and from what I understand, all over the world, it's kind of its own interpretation. So ours was a very Americanized version. The problem that we're seeing now is that it changed licensors or changed production companies somewhere in the middle, and the old company was like, yeah, do it, and the new company's like, no. So that kind of becomes a problem when you're dealing with stuff like that. And you know, on a property like that, it's hard because I think they thought it would do really well on Adult Swim because it's kind of, you know, it doesn't look like anime. It kind of has its own design and its own quirky quality to it. So they tried to more Americanize it for that way. So they figured it would do better that way than like an actual like true dub of it probably wouldn't do as well. Cha-cha!
Okay, I have to ask a question to ask a question.
Okay.
Do you know Katekyo Hitman Reborn?
No. Well, say it slower.
Katekyo Hitman Reborn. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Last movie, you should watch it.
I don't know if I can remember the name of it.
Do you want to see a picture?
Hitman Reborn, remember that. Hitman, I was about to write with my piece of coffee. Will you remember that for me? Handler? Hitman Reborn.
She has a picture of a character one too.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
That's her own name on it, by the way.
Yeah. It's funny because to me, my initial instinct is, that looks familiar, but in my head, it probably doesn't look familiar. It's just that that's an anime guy. You know?
Okay, then I'll direct my question. Can you do a line from Bulma?
Oh my gosh.
Can you be Bulma for us?
Sure. My problem is I never know what to say.
Wait, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Right. Let's see. I used to be an improv. This used to be very easy for me. I don't know what happened. I got old and somewhere the improv bug went away. Geez. Bulma.
Yell at drums.
Vegeta, you don't need to be such a bad parent. What is your problem? You don't be stupid. That's probably not anything like it. That's the other thing too, is when I don't hear myself, like in the booth, like I really don't. Like for years before I started voice acting, I didn't realize my voice sounded like this. In my head, I had a very sexy voice. And the first time I heard my voice recorded at ADV, I was like, oh no, what is that blasphemy? I couldn't even watch anything I was in for like the first 5 years that I was doing dubs. Like until I started doing really charactery stuff, then it was okay. Because I'm like, well, that's not me. I still can't watch commentaries because I'm like, oh, it's horrible.
I noticed that like Shonen Jump commentaries, I was watching the Bleach ones and I got so disappointed. When I watched some Funimation commentaries, you guys are a lot more upbeat and happy about your job. And I watched Shonen Jump and they're all just depressed and emo and videos. Why can't you like Funimation voice actors? Why can't you be that awesome?
Well, you're very sweet. But it depends though. There's been this kind of weirdness in commentaries. Like when I started at ADV, it was like, do a commentary. You don't have to talk about the show. Talk about what you eat for lunch. Let's be crazy. So we would go in there and be crazy and just talk about whatever. And sometimes it would be about the show and sometimes it wouldn't. And then I got to Funimation, they're like, you need to say something about the show. Can we try to keep it about the show? You can talk about yourself, but talk about the show. Okay. And so they kind of like tightened the reins in a little bit more over the years. it to be like, they want you to learn something. They don't want you to know what I ate for lunch. They want you to learn. The only thing is it's hard for us because, you know, we only work in snippets, so when we go into the commentary, we haven't seen the whole thing. You know, it's not out yet. I have no idea what happens when I'm not on screen. So half the time when we're doing these, if you're actually trying to help, you know, teach you something about the show, I have no idea. I don't know what happened. You know, and sometimes we'll watch it ahead of time, but then you're so distracted by watching it that you don't even want to talk. And then you end up with this really lame commentary. Or then you end up, Chris Kaysen and I had to do a commentary for Codage 3 times. Because we were deemed risque twice. It really wasn't that bad. But I guess Codage was considered a kid's show, so they didn't want it on there. But then what sucks is the last one, the one that probably made it on the disc, was so lame. Because then all we could think about were the jokes that we'd already made twice before, but you couldn't make that joke, so then you just get, what's so funny? You know, that's totally lame. I'm like, you should have just kept the first one on there and like bleeped whatever they didn't like. I mean, baby. What was this baby? Have you seen Codage? No? Okay. You know the critter Babbitt? Yeah. He wears a shirt. And what's on his shirt? A heart. So I made a comment about how he had a heart on. Oh. That's a stupid joke, right? That's a stupid joke. But evidently, like, you're not allowed to say it, so. Well, there was a couple of things too, like we went off on a tangent. Anyway, what's the next question? Let's start talking about that.
Hello.
Hi!
Just want to ask, what do you like and dislike about Tsubasa, the OVA one?
Oh, the OVA? Oh, this is really easy. I like that I got guns. I hate that I had them for like 2 seconds. Like, I saw all the art from it and I was all excited. Yes, Sakura's finally gonna be butt kicker. She's got guns. And yes, and then we went in to record it and they played the scene. I'm like, yes, guns. Where are my guns? Where are my guns? Sakura's been. I love Sakura. I absolutely adore her to death. But it was fun. It was funny to me because nobody told me that she changed after the first episode. Like what I auditioned for was Princess Sakura, spunky, cheerful, yay, how you doing, Shadow? I love you. And then she loses all her feathers. And then she becomes like, Sakura, I don't have any feathers. I'm just gonna go and have some time. Which is also cool, but at the same time, I was ready to be spunky for 26 episodes. Well, now, what, 50 something. But I was ready to be like spunky. And then, you know, she lost all her feathers. I'm like, what does that mean? What just happened? And Colin's like, well, I mean, that's, you know, all these pieces of her are gone. And I'm like, so I'm not spunky anymore? Because I don't get to play the spunky ones very often. So I was very excited. She's like, no, you're not spunky anymore. Okay? She's like, in fact, in the beginning, you're kind of like a zombie. And she didn't mean like a literal zombie, but you know, she kind of like, those feathers were pieces of her, and so when they're gone, what we attempted to do, or what I attempted to do as an actress is, here's Spunky Sakura, feathers are gone. Silence. And then kind of as she gets each feather back, you see a little bit more of that personality. So I got really excited by the time of the OVA, because she's kind of been building her personality over all these episodes and stuff, and I'm like, sweet, we're getting the spunk back, we're gonna get the guns. Where are my guns? So that was the only thing for me that was sad. I really wanted guns. In fact, the brand manager for the show, the guy that's in charge of Tsubasa and everything, when we found out that we actually got the OVAs and we were going to be working on it, he was like, Sakura gets guns! Sakura gets guns! Because I was so excited. I don't love guns, like I'm not a gun enthusiast or anything, but I like being a badass. And it doesn't get to happen to me that often with this voice. So I was very excited. But it was great. I really liked that it went dark. It went way way dark, and I thought it was really cool. I still haven't gotten to watch the whole thing. I got to watch one episode because Mike and I did a comic